But you notice in every one of these calls, we confidently give advice, even though we know almost nothing about dogs, spiders, horses, whatever. Doesn't bother us.
What, me worry?
Anyway, in the next call, our lack of arcane knowledge finally caught up with us.
That's right. What Waterloo was to Napoleon, this call was to us. 332-9287. Hello, you're on Car Talk.
Hello, this is Paul from Bartow, Pennsylvania.
What's in your mind, Paul?
Well, I know you fellows are experts on cars, but are you as good on trucks and cattle trailers?
Cattle trailers, yes. Trucks, no.
Cattle trailers is one of our specialties.
Okay.
I just finished a seminar, as a matter of fact, on cattle trailers, so I'm right up on...
Right, cattle trailers you know and love. So we're ready. Shoot.
Yeah.
Okay, we have a cattle trailer that holds about 7 or 8 cows, and it has electric brakes, and we pull it with a pickup. And
These brakes are operated by a servo that's attached to your brake pedal.
Right, it's electric attached to the brake pedal.
Right.
And the latest problem is when you put on the four-way flashers. The brakes engage every time the light flashes.
Excellent.
And that becomes a real problem when you're going up a hill and have to put on the flashers at 40 miles an hour. It seems to slow you down a good bit when you're climbing the hill.
Right, because the brakes are grabbing, releasing.
Correct.
I'm sure that we can help you with this if you answer just one small question for me.
Okay, great.
How do electric brakes work?
My impression is that our garage doesn't know either.
Well, I can honestly say, and you know me, I'm an honest guy, I have never seen electric brakes in my life.
I don't know how electric brakes work either in actuality.
But let's guess. That's how we do it with the other stuff.
We know that they have to work like regular brakes, and they must push a shoe against a drum of some kind. And they're operated by a motor of some kind.
Is the motor like in the wheel?
Yeah.
I mean, it could also operate...
Motor in the trailer or in the truck?
No, in the trailer.
In the trailer.
I don't know how they
Figure
work.
they're hydraulic?
No, they're not hydraulic. They're electromechanical.
So what's in the wheel instead of a cylinder? A little electric motor?
A screw.
A screw.
It's irrelevant how they work.
It doesn't matter. Excellent. We're going to give them an answer without knowing how they work.
Right.
Okay, Paul, this is going to be good. Get a pencil.
I got it.
I can hardly wait to
I'll
hear
pass
this.
it on to our friendly garage.
Well, no, I mean, the key issue here is that the emergency flashes are turning on the brakes.
Correct.
Somehow or another, current is getting fed to those brakes when the flashes are on, so it seems pretty clear that you've got a wire crossed. And
That's funny. I thought you had a wire crossed.
and the other problem, and I think where the problem is perhaps is in the brake lights, because in addition to this thing operating the brakes, it also has to turn on the brake lights, which are turned on by your brake lights. Isn't there a wiring harness that's hanging out from the back of your truck?
Surely.
That you plug into?
Right. That's the way it works.
So the problem's in. He's giving me that look. He's giving me that look. It's pretty clear that we don't know what the hell we're talking about.
Yeah, well, I want to say, though, Paul, it's been awfully nice talking
And
to
you sound like a wonderful,
You
caring
do. You
individual. Why can't these cows walk to their destination? I mean,
Now, we have to admit, we gave Paul absolutely no help at all.
not a bit.
But I do like the image of a herd of cattle hitchhiking.
And normally a call like this would just vanish from our minds. We'd say, gee, well, we didn't help the guy. Oh, well, next call.
Yeah, but not this. It turns out a listener named Andy was paying attention to that show, and he sat down and wrote us a letter that we'll never forget.
Oh, no. In fact, it became so famous here that we simply refer to it as the Andy letter.
Oh, the Andy letter.
Yeah. Brothers, and we're here to discuss, well, at least we're trying to, cars, car repair, and the answer to an important philosophical question.
You're going to love this.
I'm sure I will.
This is from Andy Reichman from Marlboro, Vermont, 05344. Dear Click and Clack, I'm writing to offer profound thanks to you for resolving an important philosophical question that has been heatedly debated for the last 20 years.
Really?
Get this now. The rumination began on a construction site one summer in the early 70s as my best friend Jamie and I were working our way through college. The question we raised and have agonized over lo these many years is one that I have never read about in any philosophical treatise, and yet I have found it has applied to countless situations and conversations, overheard in bars, repair shops, sporting events, political debates, etc., etc. Posit the question. Do two people who don't know what they're talking about know more or less than one person who doesn't know what he's talking about? Is
Wow.
it?
Let me think about this for a minute. What's your opinion?
I'll get this. I believe that you have definitively answered this query and have put the debate to rest in your recent conversation regarding electric brakes on a cattle carrier. Remember that call a few weeks ago?
Oh, I do.
Amazingly enough, you proved that even in a case where one person might know nothing about a subject, it is possible for two people
To know less
to
than
know
nothing.
even less.
Well, I think we prefaced our answer with the fact that
No,
we know nothing.
He says that. He says one person will only go out so far on a limb. in
Unless
his
he has someone to
construction-
egg him on.
his construction of deeply hypothetical structures, and will often end with a shrug or raising of hands to indicate the dismissibility of his particular take on the subject. With two people, the intricacies, the gives and takes, the wherefores and why nots can become a veritable pas de deux of breathtaking speculation. This is a great letter. Interwoven in such a way that apologies or gestures of doubt are rendered unnecessary. I had always suspected this was the case, but no argument I could have built from my years of observation would have so satisfyingly closed the door on the subject as your performance on the cattle carrier call. To begin your comments by saying, we'll answer your question if you tell us how electric brakes work, and we've never
That was a tip off.
We've never heard of electric brakes. I remember saying that. And then indulge in lengthy theoretical postulations on the whys and wherefores of the caller's problem allowed me to observe that you were finally putting this gnarly question to rest. I am forever indebted to you for the great service you have performed. I'm truly impressed that it took so many years of listening to your show to finally have this matter resolved. Andy Reichman. Boy, this guy had to be an English major at UVM.
Oh, yeah.
Boy, that's good writing, man.
That is a good letter.
See, now, I want the rest of
Well,
the
I want to
listeners-
know how electric brakes do work.
I never heard of electric brakes. I just want to point out that this letter is the paradigm to which all our other listeners should aspire. With two people, the intricacies, the gives and takes, the wherefores and why nots can
Veritable
become
pas de deux.
of breathtaking speculation interwoven in such a way that apologies or gestures of doubt are rendered unnecessary. Wahoo! So two people can know less than one person.
Oh, yeah. No,
We knew that. If he had just asked us the question, we could have answered that. That is a great letter. You know, the letters that really stand the test of time, the ones we remember most fondly, are the ones that do a beautiful job of insulting us.
yeah, eviscerating us.
Yeah.
You remember that little 13-year-old twerp, Melissa? She wrote, P.S. Even my dog hates your show.
Yeah, but can you remember one nice letter we've ever gotten?
Well, there was the week you were out sick, and I got a nice note from the president of NPR. Remember that?
Yeah.